goes a very long time ago, but it was very fun. It was an exciting time. It was the first Democratic victory, major victory in a long time, and so there was a super sense of enthusiasm. But it was just it was very exciting, and so we started a new era of working on education and the Central Corridor line. So it's nice 8 years later to actually have all the work that we started actually come to fruition.
Chris Fredson, who was the initial campaign manager of Chris 8 years ago.
And he's famous.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's famous.
8 years ago tonight, we all got together
Fabulous party.
downtown St. Paul, elected a good, strong, progressive DFLer to be mayor.
Thanks
And
to
8 years
Chris
later, look at the change.
8 years ago, when you were in the back there behind Bob Hume and Nick.
It was a good team. Good team. We got her done. Surrounded by good people. And I was just talking about the other day how to date, the only time that Jeff Lodge, at least to my knowledge, has said that a campaign intercepted a polling call verbatim in all of his years as a political person was you guys. Yeah.
And that was your call?
Well, they called Todd and we said, wait, how about call back? And so then we recorded it. We recorded all the questions.
You heard all the messages they were testing. And the person conducting the poll actually said when they re-asked support at the end of the poll, and you guys said, no, we still support Chris Coleman. The guy on the other end of the line said, don't worry about it, you're not alone.
I was an informal advisor to Chris, and turns out though he didn't really need strategic advice. He had a really good sense of how to run that race, and of course it was against Randy Kelly, right? So there was that, there was a larger political environment, but Chris made it all about St. Paul, and Randy Kelly tried to make the race, nationalize the race, and Chris localized it. So I thought that was smart. And then of course surround himself with good people, which is something he's done all along. He's a great mayor, partly because he's always had a great team around him, and he did on the campaign. And so he's smart that way. That first race, what a win that was. What a special win. So.
I remember it was the campaign that we were sure that Randy Kelly was going to go negative at any point because we were doing so well that eventually he was going to have to go negative. And so, but we got to be a running joke, and Bob Hume would say he's going to go negative this week, and I would get all worked up, and I would say, do you know this for sure, or are you just making it up? And then I'd discover he was just making it up and he was just speculating. So then one day, towards the end of the campaign, I wrote Bob an email about I don't know what, and at the end I said, and Randy Kelly's going to go negative on Tuesday. And he got all exercised, and he called all the newspapers to find out what kind of an ad buy Randy Kelly was doing with his negative ads. And he thought I was serious. He thought I knew something, and I actually didn't. I was just giving him the same medicine he had given me.
A memory I have of Chris's first 2005 campaign is being in that little office on University and having Jim and Jan bring us chili, and the firefighters making calls, and Chris grinding it out at call time, and doing everything we could do to win that convention. And those were the memories. It was cold outside, it was sort of the late winter, but we all were pulling together, and that hot chili is something that Chris Fredson and I still talk about to this day. Congratulations!
Well, 8 years ago I came in as the finance director for the Chris Coleman for Mayor campaign on loan from Congresswoman Betty McCollum, and I never went back. It was the best couple months of my life. I've never worked so hard as I did those couple months on the Coleman campaign, and I came in and cracked the whip on Chris Coleman to do a lot more fundraising, and I don't think he knew what what to think about me when I arrived. But luckily I had Jim and Jan Johnson to show me the way, who I relied on every day to run the office and bring in good treats for the staff, and they kept us going. So it's the hardest I've ever worked, but it's the best time I've ever had.
You were Chris's present campaign manager, so
I had a great time working for Mayor Coleman. We squeaked it out with 79%. Didn't quite get to that 80% mark, but we did beat Chris Fredson and John Stiles, so I'm proud of that. But actually, Chris was a great person to work for, extremely hardworking, great leader, and great experience. So thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it, Mayor, and congratulations on the third nominee.
So my favorite memory of 8 years ago now was it was the day after the inaugural, and I am right outside my office door, and Chris comes back, and we were gushing about what a great time we had, and he comes in my office and closes the door, and he grabbed me and said, "But you know the best thing? Didn't Connie look so cute?" So that's my favorite thing about the entire inauguration 8 years ago.
It's hard for me to think about the first campaign because it feels like it was such a long time ago. But I guess the bottom line I'll say about this whole journey for our family, and people are always coming up to me and talking about, oh, this has got to be so hard for you and so hard for your family. And all I can say is this has been absolutely an incredible, great experience for our family. I think our kids have embraced it. We've met a ton of fun people, and so the difference between now and then then and now is that I think it's all been fun. I think it's been really, really exciting to be part of this, and I'm excited for the next 4 years. And it's fun that our kids were little to begin with in grade school and junior high when this all started, and now they're out the door and being involved in their own ways in their own life in politics and beyond. But they both really, really are St. Paulites, and it's because their dad's mayor, and they love this city. So that's my 2 cents.
as Chris and the new standards play us off, I want to thank all those that participated in this little video. And I want to apologize to all those that didn't get on it, because there were a lot more people that helped in that first campaign, as in all campaigns. And as I said when I answered the phone as a receptionist at the campaign headquarters, Chris Coleman for St. Paul. And Chris, have a great next 4 years.